So the Warriors follow up their dominant 6-0 preseason by smacking the Blazers by 35 points. Let's get it. Steve Kerr decided to go big with a Steph Curry, Andrew Wiggins, Jonathan Kuminga, Draymond Green, and TJD lineup. As we know, this lineup has some questionable spacing, but what better team to try it against than one of the bottom feeder teams of the league, the Portland Trail Blazers. The game started off shaky. I'm not gonna lie, the lineup didn't look great in the first quarter, and they couldn't make a shot early. They started the game 0-9. After falling behind early, the Warriors ended the first quarter tied 21-21, and then the Warriors decided to turn up. They ended up outscoring the Blazers 118-83 the rest of the way. This 35-point whooping is the largest margin of victory in franchise history. Kerr's big starting five played a little over 5 minutes in the first quarter and was a -7. The Blazers outscored them 12-5, and the Warriors failed to make a field goal in that stint. All 5 of their points came from the free throw line. That unit didn't share the court again until the third quarter, and after turning up the defense a notch and actually starting to make their shots, that unit was a +5 together in the third quarter. Overall, the big lineup played a little over 11 minutes together and were a -2. Getting outscored 25-23. So yeah, it wasn't great, but Kerr mentioned post-game. It's the first game of the season. It might have been some jitters. That definitely could have played a part in their slow start. After settling in, they were better in the third quarter. Overall, it's just one game and an 11-minute sample size, but just based off my observation, Kuminga didn't look great at the 3 next to Draymond and TJD. Less spacing means Kuminga is less effective offensively because there's less driving lanes and the paint's more clogged. JK seemed a little out of control this game. He shot 3 for 9 from the field with 4 turnovers and 3 fouls. But anyways, moving on. Something that was surprising. Kerr subbed in GP2 before Melton and Pods. I thought GP2 was going to be fringe rotation, but apparently he's right there in the mix as one of the first subs off the bench. Steve Kerr did it again, but I had no idea it was going to be the first quarter of the first game of the season. Steve Kerr deployed a 4-guard lineup, not a 2-guard lineup, not a 3-guard lineup. This dude deployed a 4-guard lineup plus Looney, bruh. Steph, Pods, Buddy, GP2, and Looney. First of all, who's the power forward in that lineup? I guess it's 6'2 GP2, bruh. By the way, GP2 could definitely hold his own at power forward against backups. And that lineup actually did get them back in the game. This time it worked. And the Portland Trail Blazers is the exact type of team you can get away with doing it against. They're a young team. They don't play with any physicality. They're not going to be banging down low. They're not going to be crashing the boards like that. So yeah, if there was a team to experiment with 4-guard lineups against, it's definitely the Portland Trail Blazers. Kerr played an 11-man rotation in the first quarter. And then Moody checking in and start the second makes it 12 guys.
I mean, we're going to do it. I've never played 12 before, but we're going to do it. It's not easy on anybody, but we just have to trust that from one night to the next, we're going to find guys and combinations that really work. And the guys have to understand that some nights their night, some nights not, and that's okay as long as we continue to play together and play hard. I think it's going to be a really fun team to watch for our fans. They play both sides of the ball, a lot of good energy, and they like each other. The ball moves. 2 days ago I was thinking, well, maybe I'll just play 10 and I'll just have to tell 2 of these guys that they're going to sit, and I couldn't justify that because they've all played really well in camp. I even felt bad sitting Lindy. Lindy's had a great camp. He's one of our highest plus-minus guys in camp for all the preseason games. So this is as deep a team as I've ever coached, and we've got to lean into that. So we're going to play a lot of people.
By the way, it looks like Moody's at the back of the rotation. As I mentioned, 5 guys subbed in before him. GP2 playing over Moody is kind of crazy, I'm not gonna lie. Obviously, GP2 played well in his minutes, so you can't complain much. But seeing Moody at the back of the rotation after leading the team in scoring in preseason, that's kind of crazy to me, bro. Like, you would think at the very least he would get rewarded with how he played in the preseason. At least being a 3rd or 4th guy off the bench. Now look, the guys that are playing ahead of him, they're all quality options. They can all hoop. Pods, Melton, Buddy, GP2, and Looney. All 5 of those dudes had a good training camp, so I get it. There's tough decisions that are being made. But all I gotta say is, man, free Moody, bro. Here's what Steph Curry said post-game about the Warriors being 12 deep. You have to have a commitment. No agendas, no egos. When you're out there, you know you're supposed to be out there. But if it's not your night, you can't bring the team down with you with your energy. Haven't seen any red flags of that. Now, maybe I'm just reading too much into this, but that kind of sort of sounded like a shot at Klay. The whole thing about the egos and not taking the team down with you and your energy affecting the team. Bro, that was Klay last season, bro. Klay was fighting a lot of demons mentally last season, coming to grips with his own mortality as a player. And then when you throw in an element of his uncertain future and the fact that he felt the need to prove himself. Dude was pressing all season, and when things didn't go his way, he definitely had an attitude. Look, I'm not saying Klay wasn't beloved by his teammates, and I'm not saying he was a locker room cancer, but this quote from Steph definitely sounds like he's referencing Klay last season. Hey, that's my takeaway from it. If you disagree, that's fine, but that's just my read on the situation. As for Steph, he started the game slow to shooting, and he had a few tragic Johnson turnovers in the third quarter, but he ended up turning it around and having an overall decent game, coming up 1 rebound short of a triple-double. He didn't play the fourth quarter with the Warriors up 30, ended up only logging 25 minutes this game. All right, let's talk about Buddy Hield. Buddy had 22 points on 8 of 12 shooting and 5 of 7 from 3 in only 15 minutes played. Yo, Buddy's a flamethrower. He just might be in line for the best season of his career playing off of Steph Curry. This is what Buddy had to say post-game.
What do you like about this offense, this system?
Everybody's unselfish. Play basketball the right way. Next pass, best shot available. Anybody can shoot it. Everybody heart in the right place, offense and defense playing together. You learn and you listen and you try to observe everything, and you just try to figure out how to apply myself into their uniqueness and how I can be effective.
What kind of shots do you feel like you're getting when you're out there?
Tonight was my night. Next night can be JK, Steph was always Steph. He's world class, but just take my opportunities, and I run in the floor and try to keep the floor open for Steph and the other guys to be special.
Have you always felt this kind of freedom on the court?
To be honest with you, I don't want to bring it up, but I think the last time I was free like this was in Oklahoma. I had guys that were always playing for me and passing the ball and trying to get me open. So, it was fun.
He's basically saying that this is the first time in his NBA career that a team has let him play free since college. And if you think about it, this team, with this roster, with this system, this is the perfect ecosystem for him to thrive. Not only is he playing a motion offense that's tailor-made for his skill set, he's playing for one of the greatest players of all time. A player that commands so much gravity. He's going to get the most open looks of his life when teams sell on Steph, but he's going to be the ultimate beneficiary. Dude's about to have a crazy season, bro. I wouldn't be surprised if he wins 6 Man of the Year. He's going to be one of the best bench microwave scorers in the league. The Warriors wanted this role for Klay off the bench as the team's designated microwave scorer. Klay wasn't really having it. Yes, he finally agreed to it right before All-Star break last season, but reluctantly. He wasn't a fan of it at all. It was definitely a lot of ego at play there. And after the season was over, the Warriors straight up told him that they planned to bring him off the bench. They envisioned his role for him, and he wasn't going for it. That's another reason why he left, and why the Mavericks had to promise him a starting job just to secure him as a free agent. Now with Buddy, they have someone that could fill that role, who's younger, cheaper, and at this point in their careers, probably just straight up better. But he's also no great as a rebounder. He grabbed 5 boards tonight. He runs the fast break hard, and he finishes at the rim. Yes, obviously, like any other NBA player, Buddy would love to start. But if he's asked to come off the bench and fill this role, you're not gonna hear one complaint from him. Coming up on Buddy Hield for cheaper is one hell of an outcome after losing Klay in free agency. Let's talk about Andrew Wiggins, who had 20 points on 4 of 7 3-point shooting. I like Wiggins' aggression scoring overall, but especially getting threes up. He attempted 7 threes in 23 minutes and made 4 of them. If Wiggins is gonna be playing a shooting guard in that big lineup, that's the type of volume that we need to see. His shot looks good. He looks confident. He looks like he got his groove back. As I mentioned before, I think he's primed for a bounce back season, and Kerr agrees.
Wiggs was great, and this is kind of what we're expecting this year, honestly. Peace of mind, great shape, in the prime of his career. I think Wiggs is poised to have a great season.
Yo, this dude Draymond is comedy, bruh. This dude got a technical foul, right? He was arguing with the ref, and I swear this dude tried to crash out to get the second one, bruh. Steve Kerr literally had to save him by calling a timeout to defuse the situation. Like, bruh, Draymond, what are you doing, bro? Like, come on, bruh, you really lack that much emotional intelligence? If Steve Kerr didn't call that timeout, he was ready to crash out for that second tech. Yo, Draymond better not sabotage the season, bro. I'm telling you, dude. If he can't control his emotions against this trash team, I don't even know what to expect out of him against better teams. Now, one positive. In that third quarter, Draymond put on a defensive masterclass. He single-handedly shut the Blazers' water off when the Warriors had that huge third quarter, and that essentially put the game out of reach. A few other notes on the game. The Warriors went 20 for 48 from 3, which is 41.7%. They also finished with 38 team assists. So the ball was moving, they was jacking up threes, and they were going down. So yeah, the Warriors look good. But I do want to keep in mind, this Blizzard team stinks, bro. That team reeks. They're terrible. But the fact that they went 6-0 in preseason in dominant form and carried that dominance over into the regular season opener and handed out a 35-point whooping as a road team. Look, regardless of opponent, that's a pretty good sign. Next up is Utah on the road in a few days. The Jazz aren't great, but they're definitely going to be a bigger test than the Blazers. But anyways, that's all I got for y'all. Y'all let me know in the comments y'all biggest takeaway from game 1 of this season. If I entertained you or you learned something new, do me a favor. Hit the subscribe button. I'll let you on the next one. Peace.